Hello.
Oh,
How's it going?
I do believe it's going all right. I apologize for the tardiness.
I assumed something happened
Being
because you're
late.
not a late person. Yeah.
Oh no, if you're not early, you're late.
Very true.
Yeah, you were sending your text messages, and so I just got to the apartment that I do rent, and so I set up the camera. I'm on, I guess, the balcony that I do have, and so there's a camera in the
Nice.
parking lot, and I'm pointing at it, so I'll probably cut to it while editing. And then there's one inside the apartment.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and
I like that.
I've got a vacuuming robot vacuuming the apartment, so maybe that's why I'm outside. So, but I'm just giving it its privacy so it can do its job.
Absolutely. You
Uh-huh.
have to do that because the robots, you have to be kind to them.
Oh yeah, yeah. Otherwise, they just bump into you. They follow you around. That's what I found. If you don't leave them alone, these robots, right, these Roombas, will start following you around and bumping into your heels and your toes, and it's like, hey. So, you're talking about local news, right? And so is that where sort of pop culture starts? And I suppose fame starts, but pop culture, like what's going on that I see on the local broadcast? Like what are they wearing? What are they talking
Yeah.
about? Do you think it starts there? Or do you think how about for us of a certain generation, it
Right.
started there? Maybe.
Maybe, yes, because I was just about to say that really young people don't watch TV.
I know, and or like local news. They'll be like, can we
Yeah.
just turn this off? This was on already.
Because I teach a lot of 18-year-olds, and I think that if I asked them how to turn on the local news, I think I would get a lot of looks like, I have no idea. But yeah, I don't know. I think that like fame now, maybe like where it starts. I like that idea. Where does it start?
Yeah.
Maybe it starts with the people you follow and follow you on social media.
Sure.
And then it sprouts out into like bigger and bigger amounts of fame from there.
Sure.
No,
So
I don't know.
is that sort of pop culture then? Is that what we could call pop culture? Fame sprouting and the way it sprouts. And so other people seek that, and so they, I don't know, join it or become a part of it, and it becomes a sort
Yeah.
of called group, niche or whatever,
Yeah, the web that forms and then it keeps webbing out.
uh,
That's my web sound, I guess. I hope you're picking this up.
oh yeah.
This is gonna date this interview, but have you seen The Corn Kid? I'll have to share him with you.
Corn Kid? Well, yeah.
Yeah.
You could, I may have.
A beautiful young man who was interviewed, like you're talking about, on the street. Someone found him. He was eating a cob of corn,
Mhm.
and he had a lot of really beautiful things to say about it.
Yes.
It's corn.
Yeah, I just
It's
looked
a big lump with knobs.
Mhm.
It has the juice.
Me, I really like corn.
What do you like about corn?
Ever since I was told that corn was real, it tasted good.
He can't imagine a more beautiful thing. It's
Oh.
corn. And he can tell you all about it. And when he tried it with butter, everything changed. Everything changed.
But when I tried it with butter, everything changed. I love corn. Corn.
And so the beauty of that, I think, was striking for a lot of people because he was so happy about corn.
Okay.
And we've all eaten a cob of corn. So then we have a place to like connect to this young person, their purity, their love of corn. But then somebody made a song using that audio.
Like auto-tuned it?
Yeah, basically. But like it's kind of like an anthem rock sort of sound. It was good. You're gonna like it.
Okay.
It's cold. I can tell you all about it. I mean, look at this thing. When I tried it with butter, everything changed.
But okay, so now it's webbing out. It's webbing out. Now there's a Chipotle commercial featuring the child in question, the original child.
Okay.
And it's going to keep going and going and going. But when does it end? Just like when does fame end for a person? And when does someone's legacy end? You know, like, when are we going to stop talking about corn? When the new thing happens, I suppose. And then it'll be, I don't know, baloney talk, whatever.
Sure. Yeah.
Mild?
No.
Sour cream?
No.
Any corn?
It's corn.
I'm looking down this street here. There's an ice cream truck driving around and it's playing music.
Yeah.
So, like, as you're talking, you know, it's like about consumerism and all that. I'm like being pulled to an ice cream truck. Like, the tension is just, it's playing the music and it's getting closer and closer.
That's universal culture. That like sound is ubiquitous. And we all know exactly what it means.
How have classes been going for you? And I suppose what I mean by that, how has, I know we've talked about, you know, becoming art educators now ourselves, having been students. But I guess what I mean by that, how has it been going from art student to art teacher?
That's a good question. I like it. Like their like energy for creating gives me some more energy for creating overall, which I think is nice. And I always learn some other stuff too, especially when it's like a class that I haven't taught before and I have to like learn a bunch of new things in order to teach it. you know? And then by the time you're teaching that skill, you feel pretty confident in it, I suppose. But when you're done teaching it, it's kind of locked in. Like it's like locked in better than when it was before. Probably better than it would have been if you were just sort of like alone in a vacuum, using that skill and like, you know, teaching something does kind of like get the like learning part of it or the remembering of something like deep in there, which is nice. I don't know. So I would say it's going well.
So what I guess occurred to me is pop culture, not so much celebrity, but pop culture, a reflection, you know, a reflection of ourselves that we can look at as if we're looking in the mirror, you know, a sort of representation, you know, and making certain look right or look good.
I think that it's something that you could use as a building block of like your personality.
Wow. That's bigger. I think that's a bit bigger than what I was talking about. You're really just more like, you know, you see what it is that interests so many people, like on television and in magazines. So when they see it, you know, it's like, oh, so that's what that looks like, you know, being offered back to me, you know, in that.
Yeah.
But you're talking about something that's, really incredibly formative and foundational, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's like, goodness, like I do not have that relationship to TV shows, and I don't have that relationship to video games, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And so do you? Is that what you're saying? That like some of those things that like memes, you're talking about memes. So you're talking like you actually base a part of the choices you make off of what you see or read or come in contact with?
What I am saying is like the stuff that we get obsessed about or really interested in can oftentimes be the top thing, like the top note in the flavor of us. That we like project onto the world. So any friend group, you can be like, well, that person is really into Buffy the Vampire Slayer. So when I see a Buffy the Vampire Slayer meme or a t-shirt or whatever, I'm gonna send it to my friend Jennifer, because now we can like have a conversation about that. I might not start a conversation off with something like deeper or more troublesome happening in her life. I might start it with Buffy, and then we have a nice conversation, and then I get to ask her like, oh, how, is your family member doing or whatever, like and then we get into the deeper stuff. So I guess like you do build parts of your personality, or you like have things that express your personality that are pop culture related. And sometimes you don't even want to share them because they're not that cool. Oh. So it takes you a while to like share them with people, or it's not that normal, maybe.
So many people say that like pop culture, celebrity, fame, notoriety or something like that, and being noticed, attention, all of that kind of comes together, or basically just being, I don't know about recognized, but singled out somehow, mm-hmm. And whether that's in a good way or in a bad way or something like that, but it's like it gets talked about how it's superficial,
right?
That there's a superficiality to it, that there's no like depth to it. And you were just talking about that, where it's like you've got a friend and it's like, well, I'm not just going to ask you like, how is it going? I'm going to start with, hey, look at this, small thing, and then kind of work up to it, mm-hmm. as if it's not as important or not as meaningful, right?
Yeah.
How a lot of people talking about doesn't lead to satisfaction, Yeah. And I guess I don't get why, again, because I have a different sort of relationship. I have an atypical relationship to feelings, where it's more like, I don't know how to be satisfied or unsatisfied about anything. But it's kind of like, gosh, what is it that people are after, I suppose? If that's not enough, like, what is it besides that? And not to say that we all ought to just only try and be famous, but I hope you get what I mean, is that it seems like it's not that superficial, But you're talking about like what the Kardashians and all that money and all of that influence, mm-hmm. all of that influence just isn't enough or something. And I'm not disagreeing with you, but it's like, what is it that we are supposed to value in it?
Right. What is enough? I don't know. Yeah. And maybe it's like the art classes that we're teaching, where it's like, what if it was just fun? Let's just have a good time, and let's talk about stuff that's funny and fun and people know about, and we can share, like, no matter what, if I start a conversation about the Kardashians, at least people know about it, and they probably have a feeling about it too, like they have an opinion, and that can definitely stir up some conversation, and hopefully it's fun. And if it's not, we can change to something that they want to talk about. It's fine with me.
Yeah.
Whatever. But
fucking kids
what if we just
in ties? Kids in ties.
Oh, kids in ties. Kids in the glasses. Babies in the glasses.
Oh yeah.
I know that's not correct grammar, but a baby wearing a pair of glasses. Come on.
Now, a baby wearing a pair of glasses, or how about this? Shall I raise you? A baby wearing aviator sunglasses?
Little baby Joe Biden, just with the little aviators. Oh, and they both love ice cream.
Did you talk about
when we went to college together? Yeah, it was fun.
No. Mm-hmm. So yeah, there's not to be endings.
I was going to ask if you're afraid that the camera is going to get stolen ever.
I don't know how to be afraid about that. Also, I can see down there. So what I had thought was, if someone walks up and is just kind of like, well, what is if someone's like, what is this?
Number one, great footage.
Hey,
that's my camera.
Yeah, exactly.
You fool.
You can take it. But hey.
Hey.
sort of
It's
thing.
fine. It's chill.